After I entered the horror game, because of my severe nearsightedness, I couldn't see clearly. I bumped headfirst into a terrifying final boss. The other players were paralyzed with fear by him, but I reached out with my hand and grabbed his six-pack. I marveled at his great physique, but noted he was a bit short. The boss laughed from pure rage. He took the severed head in his hand and placed it back on his neck. With a wicked grin, he said, "I'm 186 centimeters tall. Now, take another look. Welcome to the Happy Home Dungeon. Players who survive for 7 days in this dungeon will clear it. Initial players, 30. Currently alive, 30. After dying in a car accident and after a flash of white light, I found myself in front of a building. An eerie mechanical voice echoed in my ears because I'm severely nearsighted. I can't tell humans from beasts beyond 3 meters. I couldn't see what the building looked like, nor could I see the faces of the people around me. I could only see vague silhouettes. Where is this? I want to go home. Who's playing tricks? Let me back. A relatively calm man and woman stepped forward. They called themselves veteran players, named Sister Hong and Brother June. This is an unlimited flow game. Everyone pulled into this game is already dead. If you can clear all the dungeons and accumulate the legendary 99,999 points, you can be resurrected. So, how many points do we get for clearing one dungeon? That depends on your horror value when you finish. If you clear it with a horror value of 99, then you'll only get a single point. If your horror value hits 100, you die instantly. The so-called horror value is simply your level of fear. After veterans get used to the game, they can basically keep their horror value under 60. As for new players, it's quite a tragic story. Then what if you clear it with 0 horror value? Would you get 100 points? As soon as I said that, in a place I couldn't see, everything I did was being live-streamed. Countless comments were mocking me. This newbie is so arrogant. Happy Home is the most perverted dungeon. No one has cleared it yet. Although no one has cleared it, the players who died before still managed to figure out some patterns. This building has 30 floors, 1 unit per floor. Only 1 player can stay on each floor. Furthermore, Happy Home is actually a role-playing horror dungeon. Each house has something supernatural in it. Once you move in, they will play various roles of your close relatives, living and eating together for 7 days. How could your horror value not fluctuate wildly? Brother June quickly interrupted Sister Hong. He pulled her to choose the first and second floors respectively. Seeing the veterans make their choice, those who were quick-witted followed suit, choosing the lower floors. Because of my nearsightedness, I couldn't run fast, so I had to wait for everyone else to finish choosing. In the end, only the 30th floor was left for me. I couldn't see the comments blabbering again. I arrived at the 30th floor. After looking around, I found it wasn't much different from reality. Except the smell of blood was a bit strong, the walls were a bit redder, the temperature was a bit lower, and the lights were a bit dimmer. Plus, this is a penthouse. And there's the family I've always dreamed of. You should know that in reality, I wasn't just a nearsighted loser. I was an orphan. And a broke one at that. I walked to the door. And without hesitation, I reached out and knocked hard. Open up, baby. I'm home. If you don't open the door, I'm going to starve. The parents were stunned. Actually, they didn't understand my logic. Since it's role-playing, and I have to become a family with the supernatural, the more natural the interaction, the better, right? Would you really say, hello, very politely, when coming home in real life? Is anyone there? Please open the door for me. The door creaked open. A chill swept through my body. I let out a sigh of comfort. This is basically a summer resort. I won't even need air conditioning. I looked down and saw a small red figure. 2 braids were swaying back and forth. It must be a child in a red dress. The child gave a sinister smile and lunged at me, cold as ice. Chilly little hands gripped my neck. I took the chance to pull her into a hug. I noticed her dress was soaking wet. How can a child wear wet clothes? Take it off quickly. I'll take you to change into clean clothes. My nose twitched. I smelled blood. I asked anxiously, are you hurt somewhere? Where's the medicine box? Quick, tell me where the medicine box is. The bullet chat was full of disappointed complaints, but unfortunately, I couldn't see them. As I carried the child into the house, I helped her take off the red dress. From her exquisite princess room, I found a new white dress for her to wear. The child's grip on my neck unconsciously loosened. Sensing her confusion, I took a warm towel and leaned in closer, wiping the blood off her face bit by bit, until it was clean. Only then did I see she was a cute little girl. I pointed at my cheek with a smile and said, as a family member, helping each other is what I should do, but don't you have to give me a kiss? While thanking me, the little girl shyly tugged at her white dress, quietly leaned toward my face, gave me a quick peck, and pulled away fast. She said in a soft, sweet voice, thank you, mommy. Wait, mommy? I, Wu Tong, am a mom now? This is just too cool. You see, in reality, I've heard far too many stories about women dying on the delivery table. Although I craved a family and liked kids, my biggest fear was childbirth. I had just coaxed the little girl to rest for a bit when the mechanical voice announced in my ear, initial players, 30. Currently alive, 20. I didn't expect that just choosing houses would result in the deaths of 10 players. I checked my phone. It turned out everyone was exchanging info in the player group, like how the other players died. Apparently, a blonde guy tried to force his way into floor 3 the moment he knocked the door open. He was swallowed whole by something supernatural. It even chewed and spat out a few white bones with flesh still clinging to them through a dog-headed player's half-open door. Other players saw a massive pile of white bones. They guessed those were likely the remains of previous players. Witnessing this, basically, all new players' adrenaline spiked. Now, except for Sister Hong and Brother June, everyone's horror value was as high as 50. Of course, none of that had anything to do with me. I stood up. While the little girl was sleeping, I diligently cleaned the entire house. The red floor tiles were scrubbed white by me with sheer force. The dried red stains on the walls that I couldn't clean off, I used a scraper to scrape away. When I was finally done, my back was aching from exhaustion. I collapsed on the sofa next to the little girl and fell into a deep sleep. When I woke up again, I was surrounded by an icy aura. An indistinct dark shadow stood before me. Although I couldn't see him clearly, the first thing he said had me captivated by his voice alone. He chuckled in a deep, sexy voice. Interesting. To actually survive this long in Cece's hands, you'd better not touch her. This mommy is quite interesting. I want to keep her and play for a while. The man didn't respond. With a wave of his hand, the little girl named Cece was sent flying off the sofa, crashing against the balcony glass. The man sneered, "Who allowed you to speak to me like that? Do you really think you're my daughter? Who allowed you to talk to a child like that? What kind of father are you?" I intended to slap the man's face, but somehow, my hand slipped down his pectoral muscles, and I ended up grabbing his abs. These chocolate bar 8-pack abs. The feel of them was truly indescribable. Seeing the man on the verge of fury, with black energy radiating from him, I quickly tried to fix it. "Cece is my little baby, and you're my big baby. We're just one big happy family. Actually, hubby, your physique is quite good. But why do you look a bit short? It's okay, now that I'm here, I'll cook delicious food for you every day. I'll make sure you and a girl grow tall." The bullet chat went crazy. Help. What is she saying? How does she dare to say that in front of the headless boss? The next second, the man leaned in close to me. I am a solid 186 centimeters. Take a better look. These days, even if you're a ghost, as long as you're a man, you're obsessed with height. I suggest you look carefully. The man suddenly called my name. His voice was so good it made my heart pound. I suddenly yanked his tie, forcing him to press completely against me. "Can't you see clearly?" Leaning in closer to stare at the clearly magnified handsome face. Luckily, this crappy horror game only tracks horror values, not heart rate. Otherwise, I'd be dead for sure. Seeing the man remain silent, I worried he was angry, so I immediately nodded eagerly. I said flatteringly, "Wow, you're 186 centimeters, I'm 166 centimeters. The most adorable height difference. We really are a match made in heaven." The man in the suit turned bright red. He was about to speak, but the next second, the little girl, who had just recovered, charged over and kicked the man into the ceiling, sticking him there so hard he couldn't get down. The little girl looked at me. "Mommy. Cece is hungry. Foodie. Who could resist this?" I immediately pulled ingredients from the fridge, squinted my eyes, and happily went to cook for the little girl and my hubby. My cooking skills are truly no joke. The two of them licked the bowls and plates clean. When I went to the bathroom to shower, I seemed to hear the father and daughter laughing and talking. "Cece, actually, keeping this woman around is okay. Her cooking is quite good." After showering, I naturally took over the master bedroom. A pair of pitch black eyes appeared under my blanket. A small face emitted an eerie glow, just like a horror scene. "Mommy, ignore that headless old monster. Tonight, Cece wants to sleep with mommy." So it was Cece. I pinched her little face and pulled her into my arms. While holding her, I somehow fell asleep. What I didn't know was that after I fell asleep, the system suddenly announced, "Players, please note. Ghosts at night will enter a berserk state. Please do not stay in the same room as a ghost." The bright white moon outside instantly turned blood red. What was even more spine-chilling was Cece's originally white dress instantly became soaked in thick, dark red. The sticky red liquid kept dripping from the hem of the dress onto me. She let out a giggling laugh. From deep under the bed, a pale, rotten hand suddenly reached out, grabbing me tightly. Are you the 31st mommy who was tricked into coming here? What I didn't know was, Cece stayed by my side all night without sleeping, staring closely at my sleeping eyes. Her dress turned red, then white, then red. Then she whispered, Mommy will be sad. I can't let Mommy be sad. The bullet chat was scrolling in terror. Holy crap. This new player changed the attributes of the red dress Lolita. She's got some real skills. The next day, I was woken up by the mechanical voice announcement. Initial players, 30. Currently alive, 15. I groggily picked up my phone and saw the player group discussing. Another 5 people died last night. 2 of them had their horror value hit 100 and vanished. Suddenly, I received a private message from Sister Hong, Ming Yen. Are you okay? During the first 3 days, you must hurry and win over your family. This is the information I have. Consider it compensation. Brother Jun suddenly interrupted on the other side. Hong, why are you telling these newbies? It's not easy to meet each other. Don't be so stingy. These 2 veterans are quite interesting. I smiled slightly, pressed my face to the screen, and replied to Sister Hong, I'm doing great. Thanks for the concern. Don't trust too much. Before he could finish, he suddenly clutched his heart. Don't trust too much. Before he could finish, he suddenly clutched his heart, and then collapsed in pain. Cece frowned her little face, and supported him with a worried look. I also rushed over to catch him with my body. Warning, NPC in the dungeon is forbidden from revealing specific clear information to players. Heavy footsteps sounded outside the door, making my ears vibrate. Cece quickly lunged into my arms. Mommy, Grandpa and Grandma are back from the old home. Don't be afraid. The man wouldn't be outdone. He didn't move at first, then hesitated. Don't be afraid. He immediately grabbed my hand and pulled me into his arms. What a pure-hearted final boss. No fear, no fear. Anyway, I can't see clearly. Anything I can't see clearly, I consider a normal person. Instead, I was looking forward to the new NPCs appearing to help me clear the game. They seemed to be 2 very healthy elderly people. As the key turned in the lock, the bullet chat in the live stream started getting intense. Then came a click, and the door opened. With a click, the door opened and 2 ghosts walked in. They were slightly hunched over, carrying 2 huge snakeskin bags. Seeing the headless boss on the floor, they screamed and rushed over, pushing me aside. You black-hearted, venomous woman, how dare you hurt my son? I want your life as repayment. A vengeful spirit seeking life. I was surrounded by black energy. Leaning in closer, I saw the old lady was incredibly thin. Seemingly nothing but a skeleton, propping up her clothes. Her features were a blurred mess. I could only clearly see her mouth opening and closing. All her exposed skin was charred black, like freshly made charcoal. If not for her voice, it would really be hard to tell she was female. I grabbed the black old lady's charcoal-like hand, and said with heartache, Mom, how did your skin get so dry? Last night, I made a cucumber face mask set for myself. Do you want to try it? The black old lady, who was mid-curse, was stunned. Then she stammered, I guess that works. As expected. What woman doesn't love beauty? Seeing me actually bring out a bowl of cucumbers and start applying a mask to her, the old man got upset. You old hag, didn't you say you were going to properly scare the new daughter-in-law? Old hag, didn't you say you were going to properly scare the new daughter-in-law? So you still have a savior. The man's face immediately darkened, thick black energy radiating from his body. He summoned a swarm of ghost claws and finished off the old lady. I finally couldn't hold it back anymore. It was truly hilarious. The man twitched the corner of his mouth at me, the smoke on his body dissipating. The old man looked around but saw no one. They were killed before even entering the door. The black old lady awkwardly stood up again, patted the cucumbers on her face. You old geezer, you talk too much. Get lost and go cook. The old man shut up immediately, dragging the snakeskin bag and the intestines hanging from his belly toward the kitchen. Everywhere he walked, the floor turned blood red again. Cece hurriedly ran to the black old lady's side, and very politely expressed her refusal. Grandma, I'm sorry, but I think the food Grandpa makes is really gross. Before her words even landed, the old man reached into his belly, flung a section of intestine out of the kitchen, and quickly wrapped Cece up. Dear granddaughter, you'd better come and help Grandpa cook. Dear granddaughter, you'd better come and help Grandpa cook. Ah. Dad, your sweater is unraveling. Why don't you mend it? By the time the old man's food was ready, I had found some thread. I eagerly helped him set the table. Then grabbed him Look at you, dragging this yarn all over the floor. It's quite inconvenient, and the yarn is losing its color. I just mopped the floor yesterday. This scene was bizarre beyond words. The bullet chat also suddenly realized, after all this time, she's not just brave and calm. She's blind. I grabbed the old man's yarn, intestines, and started mending. Because of traditional etiquette, I kept a bit of distance from him. So I never clearly saw what it was. It just felt wet. So I complained, "Why is this yarn still wet, Dad? Did you just drop it in the sink while washing vegetables?" Probably. The old man was also a bit at a loss. After I finished sewing the old man's belly, everyone sat harmoniously at the table ready to eat. Seeing no one moving, I familiarly picked up a piece of chicken feet. Seeing me bring it to my mouth, the ghost stared at me with a face full of malice. "Dear daughter-in-law, this is fresh food. Your father brought up from downstairs today. They all just died last night." Downstairs? What else could be downstairs besides the dead players? I immediately dropped the chopsticks and fake clutched my stomach with a groan. No, I can't eat meat. After all, after that passionate night, I think I'm pregnant. The ghost girl had a look of watching a good show. The old man and the black old lady were overjoyed, quickly telling their son to carry me to the room to rest. The headless boss, however, was blushing furiously. He picked me up and hurried away, hissing in my ear, "Why, you're talking nonsense. We clearly didn't. He's too innocent. He couldn't even bring himself to say the words slept together." I took the chance to touch his abs and whispered, "It's okay. If you want, we can sleep together now." The bullet chat was enraged. "Ming Yen, you female hooligan, is this something I can watch for free?" Unfortunately, once inside the room, the man suppressed his blush and spoke to me seriously and directly. "I'm very sorry about your feelings for me. Although it's only been a short time, I admit. I do indeed have special feelings for you as well. It's just that Cece is my child. Even if this is fake, and it's the game you talk about, I still hope to get her approval. Before having a second child, this is my responsibility as a father." I stared at the hideous scar on the man's neck. That was where his head was reattached. It wasn't ugly at all. Does it hurt? It did. It doesn't anymore. I faked fainting to fool the old man and the old lady. The meals for these 2 days were all cooked by me personally, using vegetables the headless boss bought in the fridge. I didn't touch any of the ingredients in the ghost snakeskin bags, and to make the act convincing, from the second night on, the headless boss and I slept together. In the middle of the night, while I was wondering how to seduce him, a face suddenly popped out from under the covers. Her little face looked so piteous. "Mommy, you don't love Cece anymore. What's so great about Daddy? Cece is much better." As she said this, Cece glared fiercely at the man. Cece's white dress was beginning to turn red, and the scar on the man's neck was widening. A fierce battle seemed inevitable. "Stop it. Stop fighting, stop it. I'll just sleep with both of you." The first 3 days passed safely, with my headless boss husband and my daughter, Cece. According to the system's real-time broadcast, there are only 12 players left now. More than half are already gone. I stared at the snowy moon outside, lost in thought. On the third night, I suddenly received a private message from Sister Hong. "Ming Yen, you have to start visiting the neighbors tomorrow." I heard that only after visiting all the ghosts in this 30-story building can all floors be unlocked. "You're on the hardest 30th floor. You must help everyone by successfully visiting the ghosts on the 30th floor. It's a pity God Ming died on the 6th day. He was killed while visiting the headless boss. We don't know what happens on the 7th day." Reading Sister Hong's concerned words and the information she shared, I replied with a very calm thanks. "Of course, I'm willing to help each other. Even though I don't know what happens on the 7th day. I'll just focus on completing the tasks for the next 3 days first." Then I went to the living room and told my family that I was going downstairs. Before leaving, Cece intentionally walked up to the headless boss and said, "Hurry, provoke me. I want to turn into my red dress. The white dress has no aura. I won't be able to scare those things later. You just focus on being happy. With your dad here. Who dares touch you? Yeah, and if worst comes to worst, I'll use my ultimate move. Pull my intestines out again. And go to their door to extort them. Haven't you guys read the management regulations? As residents, we cannot go downstairs with our daughter-in-law for these 3 days." Just as the ghosts were at a loss, the headless boss's eyeballs rolled around. Suddenly, he seemed to think of something. Without a word, he pulled his head off, reached into the scar on his neck, and rummaged around. He pulled out a knife handle, then he grabbed the handle and pulled out a large, rusty kitchen cleaver. The blade was jagged. As soon as it appeared, I screamed and took 3 steps back. Nyen yen. Take this. No one will dare touch you. A mechanical voice sounded. Congratulations to the player for obtaining the SSSSS grade item, Bell of Love. This private announcement had no speaker. He actually went to such lengths for me. Dead people usually despise the objects that killed them. Yet he pulled it out specifically. And devoutly gave it to me as a weapon. Seeing the man take the lead, Cece immediately rushed to the wardrobe and rummaged through it. She picked out the neatest, most wrinkle-free white dress, held it in her hands, and rushed toward the cleaver in my hand. Perhaps due to fear. Both the dress Cece was wearing and the one in her hands instantly turned blood red. Cece threw the red dress toward me. And it instantly appeared on my body, fitting my figure perfectly. Mommy, this is the dress I wore when I was wearing it. Will protect you. Before I could express my gratitude, Old Mansion pulled off his sweater, the one I had just finished mending for him. Congratulations to the player for obtaining the SM grade item. The Prime Minister's robe. The black old lady followed close behind, decisively tearing off a charred arm. Congratulations to the player for obtaining the SM grade item. The 4 big bosses mobilized together, reluctantly seeing me off to the stairwell leading down from the 30th floor, holding a bunch of items. I looked at the red dress I was wearing, deeply moved. Who says these are the horrors of a horror game? Aren't they my closest and most lovely family members? The bullet chat said sourly, if you gave me those items, I'd think they're lovely too. It feels like watching a daughter finally growing up. On the 29th floor, I knocked politely. The door opened after just one knock. I knew from the group messages that the player on this floor was already dead. On the 29th floor, I knocked politely. The door opened after just one knock. I knew from the group messages that the player on this floor was already dead. The faces of a pair of fraternal twins appeared at the door. They looked like teenagers. They looked warily at the items in my hand, especially that rusty kitchen cleaver, and gave me a pleasing smile. You're the neighbor from the 30th floor, right? A visit is just a visit. Why did you bring weapons? Don't be a stranger, okay? Here is the visiting card for the 29th floor. Please take it. I took the simple card. There was only a small black pattern on it, and I couldn't tell what it specifically was. Thank you. Could you invite me in for a cup of tea? I think we could talk about your mother and the fate of your enemies. Yes, actually, when I first entered this horror game and was standing at the bottom of the building, I wasn't just doing nothing. Actually, when I first entered this horror game and was standing at the bottom of the building, I wasn't just doing nothing. After everyone else ran off to snatch floors, I boredly circled the building 5 times. Finally, in a pile of trash surrounded by black mist, amidst a bunch of slimy, vomit-like substance, I dug out a dirty, old newspaper. Fortunately, this was my old profession from the bottom of society. I'm an orphan. When I was young, what I did most was rummage through trash to see if there was anything edible or usable. And places like this are easily overlooked by players. They were in such a hurry to get to the floors that they never thought there would be things outside the building. Why was it that newspaper? Ning Yen, who was nearsighted, could see it, but we couldn't, because she's faking being blind in her eyes. But our hearts are fully blind. The pair of twins on the 29th floor were tricked onto the rooftop by their father the day before their 18th birthday, because their father had married into the family. He had always wanted to seize their mother's property. Finally, to prevent the 2 children from inheriting the estate when they came of age, his mistress devised this toxic plan, and the father agreed. 3 years after the siblings died, the father and the mistress were sentenced to death and executed immediately, and their mother closed down the company, took photos of the 2 children, and began traveling the world alone. After the cup of tea was finished, the story also came to an end. The twins looked at me with tears in their eyes, with heartache welling up in their gaze, followed by relief and gratitude. After they watched me stand up and walk out the door of the 29th floor, I suddenly reached out and patted the dust off their clothes. From today on, live well. Even here. As long as you miss each other. One day, you will be reunited with your mother. Watching them nod solemnly, I turned away, satisfied, and continued down. I came to the 28th floor. The player on this floor had also met their end long ago, yielding to the overwhelming power of my items. Oh, no, I mean, captivated by my beauty. The ghost of the 28th floor opened the door. The moment I knocked, she respectfully handed me a visiting card. She was a young girl wearing an exaggerated cosplay costume with heavy, dramatic makeup, but her body seemed perfectly intact. I wasn't surprised at all. Because she hadn't died in an accident. She had committed suicide by taking sleeping pills. She was 19 the year she died, in the prime of her youth. But because of a chance incident over an outfit, she was driven to suicide. Back then, she had seen a beautiful outfit online and used a reverse image search to buy a similar one. Every time she took photos and uploaded them to social media, she was met with tens of thousands of insults. They said she didn't wear a wig. They said she didn't wear makeup. They said she didn't respect the 2D world. They said she disgraced the cosplay community and lowered the standard of cosplay. They said she shouldn't be alive. Finally, they even doxed her friends and parents' personal information, madly harassing her parents and relatives. They photoshopped her funeral portraits and lewd images and sent them to her parents. The girl panicked. She was afraid. She didn't understand what cosplay was or wasn't, nor did she understand anything about those communities. At the time, she simply thought that the outfit was very pretty and she wanted to buy it and wear it. But later, she felt she was guilty and that she should end this sin with her death. Even before she took the pills, she wore that outfit, put on full makeup, and wore the wig. Looking at the exaggerated makeup on her face and her innocent eyes, I took makeup remover pads from her room, and bit by bit wiped away the heavy makeup on her face. I gently counseled her, the ones who were trapped were never you, but them. Do you know? In the years since you passed away, those people continued their lives, but they were never truly happy. Some even ended up in mental hospitals, because they were too obsessive. There are no communities here, only life and death. Here, you can wear whatever you want. You can have a bare face if you want, or heavy makeup if you want. When they die, if they ever end up here, you can torment them as much as you like. Though, of course, I don't think those people, even in death, deserve another chance to start over. Listening to the aftermath I told her, the girl grinned. She slowly pulled out a pair of double-ring 9-section whips from behind her, and a bloodthirsty light flashed in her eyes. Okay, sister. I'll be myself. If one day they really do come, dying at the hands of the god weapon they revere will be their honor. That's the spirit. This is the temperament the boss of the 28th floor should have. I came to the 27th floor. The ghost on this floor was a female office worker, wearing a uniform, makeup, and an apron, a bit of a mismatched look. She was holding the hand of a little boy whose body looked like it had been crushed to pieces. Even without looking at the newspaper, I knew who they were. Initially, this little boy had been in a car accident at school. In her desperation, the mother went to the school in her work clothes. But she was filmed and posted online by malicious people. They called her a show-off, saying her son was dead and she still had the mood to wear makeup, even questioning if she had just come from some man's bed. In her grief, she couldn't withstand the pressure of the cyberbullying and chose to jump to her death. In this world, she had actually been reunited with her child. Just as I was about to speak to comfort this young mother, the terrifying-looking little boy suddenly spoke in a childish voice. Auntie, I've already finished comforting mommy. Hee hee, my mommy. I know she dresses up pretty because her job requires it. Actually, as long as mommy is happy, even if she wears her work clothes to cook, I'll still think mommy is a superhero. You are a superhero too. Your superpower is making your mommy happy. In a place where I couldn't see, the bullet chat was a mess of tears. I knew our god Ning was a person of great wisdom. She's simply my goddess. I continued all the way down, seeing many ghosts, both familiar and strange. There was a boy who died tragically while searching for his parents, and a youth who was bullied to death at school. I chose to enlighten and comfort each and every one of them. Over these 2 days, I strictly followed a 9-to-5 schedule for my tasks. Every time I returned to the 30th floor, Cece would pounce on me like a kitten, rubbing against my face, saying affectionately, "Mommy, I missed you so much." My heart was completely melted by her cuteness. Meanwhile, the headless boss would take the initiative to cook, hold my small hand with a look of grievance, and whisper, not wanting to be outdone, "Actually, I missed you too. Help me. When women compete, I enjoy the peace. Let it come, I love it," the bullet chat said sourly. That girl is really lucky. Let me play a couple of episodes like this. Amidst this playful banter, time reached the 6th day, and I arrived at the 10th floor. By this time, I had already collected a pile of visiting cards in my hand. Actually, from the 20th floor down, the bosses weren't quite as terrifying. I discovered several surviving players, but none of them dared to cross me. And of course, it wasn't their turn to help me deal with the neighbors, because these neighbors were all very warm and lovely, opening their doors proactively and placing their visiting cards into my hands. Later, they even followed me to visit other neighbors. We made our way down to the 10th floor together. As soon as we arrived at the 10th floor, we saw a 2-meter-tall human-bodied dog-headed monster, standing in the corridor. The door was wide open. And inside, it was full of players' bleached bones. The dog-headed monster handed us a visiting card. I opened my mouth, just about to say something, when the dog-headed monster suddenly faced me and leaned down slightly. Even with my severe nearsightedness, I could clearly see the shredded meat between its teeth. I see you're still stepping on human fingers, human girl. Don't think that just because those 4 guys on the 30th floor are protecting you, that I will fear you. On this matter at least, I will never compromise. Whenever anyone moves into the 10th floor, there are never any survivors. For your sake, I can give a visiting card to a human I find tolerable, but don't dream of anything more. I remained silent, trying to keep a smile. The restless kitchen cleaver was comforted. There, don't be angry, don't be angry. A good man doesn't fight with a dog. Only then did the cleaver huff and settle down. The grudge between the dog-headed monster and humans, perhaps can be traced back not just to when it was alive but also to today's reality. Some humans wantonly slaughter cats, dogs, and other animals. So in this world, a dog-headed monster appearing to take its turn, well, it sounds like a very fair thing, doesn't it? When will this killing end? When will humans stop their slaughter of animals? Suddenly, desperate cries for help came from downstairs. Look at you lowly humans. Not only do you kill other species, but you've started killing your own kind again. At the same time, the screams downstairs stopped. The mechanical voice announced, initial players, 30. Surviving players, 5, only 5 left. I and the 2 new players present looked at each other. One of them was the student girl who had been crying at the bottom of the building. We accounted for 3 here, which meant there were only 2 survivors from floors 9 down to 1. Something bad occurred to me. I opened my phone. The player group was deathly silent. I took the lead, with the student girl following and the fitness coach bringing up the rear. The 3 of us cautiously made our way down. As soon as we stepped onto the floor below, a transparent dome suddenly dropped over the 3 of us. At the same time, a man and a woman walked out from behind a wall. They were holding colorful firearms with wild, arrogant smiles on their faces. Hand over all your visiting cards. Otherwise, we'll treat you just like those stupid fools downstairs. And kill you all. It was exactly Sister Hong and Jun-go. From the very beginning, Sister Hong and Jun-go had been playing good cop and bad cop, trying to win the trust of the players. There was actually a second half to Sister Hong's private message to me that she didn't say. God Ming didn't die for nothing back then. He provided at least one strategy for the players following him up to the 6th day. Let as many players as possible survive until the 4th day. In fact, you don't necessarily have to rely on befriending neighbors to get all the visiting cards, because not all players are as lucky as me to have so much killing power and items from the start. So there's another way, plundering and devouring. Starting from the 4th day, as long as player A kills player B, then player A will also receive the visiting card for player B's floor and will inherit any visiting cards player B already possesses. So it's like raising pigs. As long as it lets the pig named B grow fat, then, as long as B is weaker than A, I can eventually reap the rewards. And all of us were the pigs Sister Hong and Jun-go were raising. I unexpectedly became the king of pigs. To put it bluntly, in the rules of this horror game, internal killing is permitted and even encouraged. It's just that this time, Sister Hong and Jun-go misjudged me. I unzipped my coat, revealing the long red dress, and pulled the headless boss's cleaver from under my hem. Intestines and withered hands, tell me. How do you want to kill me? I gave the cleaver a casual wave, and the S-grade protective shield item shattered and was destroyed. The faces of Sister Hong and Jun-go also cracked bit by bit until finally, they completely collapsed to the ground. Ning Yan, I was wrong. I was wrong. I just wanted to be resurrected so badly. Please, don't kill us. Spare our lives. I showed no mercy, ignoring their pleas for mercy, only asking coldly. The players downstairs, they probably begged you like this too, didn't they? Did you let them go? Cutting meat with a dull knife. Slice by slice, they could be hacked to death, but before it even touched them, seeing this SSSSS grade item flying toward them, Sister Hong and Jun-ji's horror levels immediately spiked to 100. Their bodies exploded, their souls scattered, leaving behind not even a trace of the smell of blood. I cradled the murderous cleaver in my arms, softly comforting it. All right. Don't be angry, I'm not hurt. I gave the visiting cards. Collected by Sister Hong and Jun Go. To the student girl and the fitness coach. You can go and visit the ghosts from the 20th to the 30th floor. If any of them target you, just say you're a friend of Ning Yan from the 30th floor. Tell them she sent you to get the cards. I believe, after I've spent so much time talking so earnestly with them, they should be able to give me that much face. The student girl and the fitness coach were incredibly grateful, bowing to me repeatedly. I quickly avoided them. The three of us looked like we were doing some weird dance. I went down alone to collect the rest of the visiting cards I needed. It was much easier further down, and I soon collected all the cards. But the game's notification sound didn't ring in my ear. I knew I was still missing the most crucial one. The card for the 30th floor. The story of the 30th floor, but I'm no fool. After living with them all these days, I had already learned their stories. They were indeed once four unrelated strangers. Cece was the little girl who, after school on a rainy day, kindly helped an old man with an umbrella, only to be harmed and killed in the end. Old man Chong was the old lecher falsely accused on a bus, who, despite the slander, still worried about the girl's safety and didn't hold a grudge. He helped that girl subdue the real criminal, but ended up getting his own stomach stabbed through. His intestines were spilled all over the ground. The black old lady's neighborhood caught fire. Her son knew how to use the fire extinguisher and firefighting equipment, but because there was no water in the fire hydrant, he had to watch his own mother be burned alive until her head fell off. The big boss is the biological son of a member of a large cult. He graduated from a prestigious school and finally escaped his original family, but his parents were brainwashed. They heard that eating their biological son's brain marrow would give them immortality. So, taking advantage of their son's lack of suspicion, the couple used a dull knife to hack off their son's head to actually scoop out the marrow, and the fact that I could reunite with them here to form this strange and awkward family might not be an accident. Actually, the day before my car accident, I had just received my salary. I was skipping past a cemetery. For some reason, on a sudden whim, I went to a nearby florist and bought 4 bouquets of flowers. I randomly picked a few graves and gave them to the people of the past. I remember the names on those 4 tombstones were Chin Cece, Lu Igua, Li Tzuelan, and Nameless. So Nameless really was nameless. Back on the 30th floor, I returned to normal and started laughing lightheartedly again. I walked to the door and saw it was open. Ever since I left, this door had never been locked. They had been waiting for me to come back. In the living room sat the young and old with smiles on their faces. They were all eating a spread of delicious food and drinking my favorite tea. A few of them took my hands and had me sit down like I was the center of their world. Then they said with a smile, "Your 2 friends came up just now." We already gave them the visiting cards. Recalling everything they had done for me, touched to the bottom of my heart, tears uncontrollably poured down. Let's be a real family for just one day. Being able to eat together with everyone like this, I am truly happy. Yes, as long as you are happy. We are happy. We will always protect you. Thank you all. Silly girl, we're a family. Yes, how happy a day can be. But how short it is as well. After dinner, night fell. The black old lady waved her arm, sparking stars across the night sky like fireworks. I quickly gave her a rainbow fart, lavish praise. Mom is so amazing. Can I? Good grief, you have to ask about something like this? Making the girl take the initiative. How embarrassing. I quickly stood on my tiptoes, grabbed his shoulders, and firmly bit his lip, then slowly deepened the kiss. After the moment of affection, the headless boss pressed a card into my hand. With 30 cards collected, I looked at the patterns on them. Piecing them together, I quickly laid them out on the ground following the lines. Congratulations to the player for finishing business. You have obtained the uniform love of the entire happy home, successfully summoning the Door of Survival. The Door of Survival will appear tonight at 11 p.m. Surviving players, please lead your families to the first floor. Otherwise, players will die here. In the dungeon, the bullet chat excitedly roared that they were about to witness history. The first clear of the happy home, but thinking about leaving, I didn't seem as happy as I had imagined. At 11 p.m., my protectors brought me to the first floor. What used to be a reinforced first floor wall now had 3 sturdy black doors open on it. Each door had a different number of locks hanging on it. Mine had 4 locks. The student girls had 1 lock. The fitness coaches had 2 locks. The players' names were written on the doors. Below the names, their horror values were marked. My name, Ning Yan, horror value 0. The student girl, Su Xiaoma, horror value 99.9. The fitness coach, Fang Yuan, horror value 90. Players, would you like to feed the keys to open the Door of Survival? Limited to before 12 o'clock midnight tonight. Everyone has 1 hour left. Otherwise, you will be lost in this dungeon forever. But the keyholes on the doors were all star-shaped. They clearly wouldn't fit regular keys. I crouched on the ground a bit despondently, resting my chin on my hands. Oh dear, what should I do? I don't have a key. I can't go back. I can stay here forever to keep you guys company. Hee hee, I'm so happy. Ning Yen, you've guessed what the key is. That's why you're resisting like this, right? But you don't know. If you get lost here, you won't become one of us ghosts. You will only become a wisp of black mist in the surroundings. They have no emotions. No awareness. No thoughts. They can't even be called a thing. Ning Yen. If that happens, I will lose you forever. If it's like that, it's better if you lose me for a short while. As soon as he finished speaking, the man suddenly reached into his own chest, pulled out a heart of happiness, and threw it toward the black door in front of me. That lock suddenly turned into a big-headed monster, and swallowed the heart completely. The mechanical voice also seemed a bit stunned at this moment, with an inexplicable fear. May I ask the other esteemed ghost lords, are you willing to offer your heart of happiness to help your family member open this door? Yes, in fact, the keys to open the doors are the hearts of the ghost family members, and they must be the so-called hearts of happiness. Fang Yuan and Su Xiaoma looked pleadingly at their ghost families. Sorry. Our hearts are not red. They are not hearts of happiness. Players, while role-playing, always carry feelings of dread, fear, and endurance while doing their tasks. Therefore, over the 7 days, the hearts of the ghosts did not receive true happiness. This is also the malicious part of this dungeon. What heart of happiness bullshit? Isn't it just a living person's heart? I have one. He didn't dare to move against me, so catching Su Xiaoma off guard, he threw her directly toward his own door. One of the locks on Fang Yuan's door immediately turned into a big-headed monster and swallowed the screaming Su Xiaoma in one bite, eating her whole skin and bones. I didn't even have time to stop it. Fang Yuan turned his crazed gaze toward me, seeming to want to throw me in two. Cece stood aside without saying a word, her entire being radiating a dangerous aura. Red flesh flew everywhere. Blood stained her white dress red. Cece whispered to the blood and flesh. Originally, before Mom left, I wanted to be a good child. Too bad you had to go and seek death. Then she suddenly tilted her cute little face and smiled. Reaching out her fair arm, she quickly pulled out her heart and threw it toward the second lock on my door. Mom, Cece also can't bear to leave you. But Cece wants you to be alive even more. Even if that place doesn't have Cece. Old Man Chong and the black old lady followed suit, opening my third and fourth locks. Good child, if one day you can see my son, tell him it wasn't his fault that the hydrant had no water. Also tell my child, his father was a hero who saved people, not a dirty old man. Good child, don't you dare be jealous. You are just like our own newborn child. Mom and Dad will always love you. My tears fell drop by drop. Suddenly, the black iron door behind me opened with a boom, erupting with a piercing white light. I was still highly nearsighted, but this time I lunged at them accurately, holding on to them tightly, crying as I asked their exhausted hearts, will you die? The Headless boss hugged me tightly. We won't. We'll just lose all our memories and be thrown into some other dungeon to work. But as long as we meet again, I will definitely remember you. Mom, Cece is also a good child. So are we. Finally, the midnight bell struck. 4 pairs of large hands pushed me together toward the door. Before my eyes, there was only endless white light. Suddenly, I heard 4 gentle, nostalgic voices ring out at the same time. Take good care of yourself. Don't be afraid. See you next time. Congratulations, player Ning Yen, for successfully clearing the Happy Home dungeon. Achieved the first clear. Earned an extra 500 points. I ignored the mechanical voice, looking greedily at the blurred figures outside the portal. The moment froze on that dark shadow. He had tear stains at the corners of his eyes, yet he was smiling at me. I cupped my hands around my mouth. I've thought of a name for you. Ning Junin. Though we are 10,000 miles apart, my only thought is your safety.